This video is going over how I use ChatGPT while I'm studying for my online accounting degree with WGU. So I mentioned it a few times that I use it as a tutor, and someone asked to see like what prompt I use, and I just wanted to show my whole process behind using ChatGPT. So first, I'm going to go over why I use it, and then I'll go over how I use it and show my screen and everything. But first, why I use ChatGPT. Because obviously WGU, they have like student resources. You can go to the writing center, well, virtually, and they'll help you with your writing. They have tutors and it's free. You don't have to pay for anything because it's included. You've already paid for tuition. But I haven't used those just because I've gone to regular community college and regular college like in person, and I kind of know how it works. And I'm pretty good and strong with my writing skills and math skills. So really what I needed, and the reason I like ChatGPT is I needed someone to just help connect those dots. Because when I get tutoring from a person, there's generally like the social part you have to navigate, which is can be tricky for me. And then I don't want to come across as rude when people misunderstand what I need. Because I've gotten to the point where I know how I learn. I can recognize when I have like a disconnect between what I need to understand and what I'm currently understanding. And I really just need to fill in that hole between those two things. And sometimes when I go to a person, they don't really see that. And it's frustrating for me because it feels like I'm wasting their time, my time's being wasted, and I still don't get what I came for. So, with ChatGPT, I can set it up to give me exactly what I need. So that's why I use it. So now how I use it, and so that's where I'll show my screen. But let's see. So this is on the screen on my computer. This is my ChatGPT. I do pay for the paid version, so I can have this is all called a project. And so a project stores all of the conversations, all of the chat together, and it'll remember what we've talked about and what I've told it to do. But first, when I first started off, I didn't have a project. I literally just went into a chat, typed in like, I don't know, like, help me with this problem. Why did I get it wrong? And then went from there. And so that's kind of how with the process I went through to use ChatGPT. So first was just typing in a chat, asking for help. And then throughout the chat, I would learn what I wanted it to do or not to do. And then that's what started to become the instructions for the project. So that's like phase two, like setting up the project with instructions. And phase three, I wouldn't say I'm there yet, but phase three would be like you have really good instructions, really good prompt. You've labeled each of your chats, which I haven't really done here yet, but I have in other projects. But maybe I would have a chat called like just the economics, because that's what I'm studying right now. So an economics chat. And then I would have one for a different topic. And then I would only use that chat for that specific topic. But I'm not really there yet in this project. All right, let me look at my instructions. So this is, I guess, what you would call a prompt when people say they want to see my prompt. And the reason I wanted to first give background to how I'm using ChatGPT. So this prompt is still a work in progress. I think it's really long, maybe it's short. But here it starts off with saying you are an accounting degree tutor. So you want to tell ChatGPT what you want it to do. And this is telling it it's going to be my accounting degree tutor. And then I'm telling it how to tutor me. So you walk me through what I'm stuck or confused about. Let me talk through what I'm thinking, and you confirm if I'm on the right track or not. If I'm wrong, explain where I went wrong. So I put this here because when I originally went into ChatGPT, and I can show you actually one of my earlier chats. Where is it? I'll just go to the beginning. So when I first asked a question here, and excuse my misspelling, I just type in here really fast and I'm not trying to look smart to it. So I asked it, hey, I'm learning about objective functions to maximize profits. The formula they gave was this, but the instructor doesn't explain how they got that. Can you explain it? So that was my question. And then ChatGPT just gave me this really long answer here. And I did not really read it. Let's see. I think I just skimmed it. And then I went ahead and asked another question here. But let me go down to where I start telling it, hey, keep these explanations short. I'm just figuring out the holes in my knowledge. You don't have to use all the emojis and sections. So that I kept having to say that and eventually became part of my project instructions. Let me go back. So that's where these instructions evolved from, like, as I was using the chat and realizing what I didn't want to happen or what I did want to happen, and it gets included into here. So you can always edit your instructions. So here I tell it, let me explain what I think to you first, because I didn't want it to give me a long answer. Simply yes, right track, or similar reply is better than a long list. Simple, no, this, and maybe I should add quotes just to be really specific. Or a similar reply is better than a long list. And then a simple no, this, whatever I said is not right, is better than a long paragraph. And then if I'm wrong, let me talk through what I think the issue is, and I'll prompt you for more information as needed. I prefer to understand the why, so I don't have to rely on memorization, but can think my way through any problem, even if it's new. And then these other inflections kind of came about as I learned even more what helped me. So sharing the etymology of words helps me understand the word and remember it. This one came from the business law class because there's so many new words in there. And legal terms tend to be based on like older words. So etymology really helps. And then this also came from the business law class because that instructor, Elaine Myers, she uses a lot of like ChatGPT calls it a narrative walkthrough style. But she uses a lot of like these little scenarios to help you understand the concept. And so I told ChatGPT, hey, use this. That helps me a lot. So, and I asked it to summarize the style so I could put into the instruction. And so you can see that here. I won't read the whole thing, but it has been what that walkthrough style looks like. Right, so going past the walkthrough style, let's see. It's a really long explanation, but now I put a further instruction section, and this is where I put all the things I don't want it to do. So I don't want it to ask me additional questions, just stay on the current topic. Example of what to avoid. I'm going to say example of what not to do. Do you want to further explore this concept? Do you want to insert something? Something other than the original question. Because, ChatGPT, they commonly will say, like, oh, do you want me to do this? And that, I just don't want that. I told it not to use emojis because it was using them excessively. Don't give me answers or a wall of text because I'm not going to read it. It's too long. Don't teach me or reply with long paragraphs. I guess it's really similar as the first one before. But it would try to teach me stuff, and I would have to tell it, no, I'm just trying to confirm if I'm on the right track or not, because that's how my brain learns. I also have to tell it to not be encouraging. I'm intrinsically motivated. I just need yes on the right track or no. So I don't eat that like, you're doing a good job. Like, and that's really annoying to me. All right. So that's my prompt, the story behind my prompt. And the prompt it's a work in progress. Like, I'm definitely going to be updating this again. As you saw, I just updated it. All right, I just wanted to record this really quick because it's a good example of how I use ChatGPT to like fill in the holes, and to talk through a new concept. So I'm studying my intermediate accounting one, and it's talking about inventory in the book, and it's going over what's called like parking transactions, like inventory parking. And it was a really fuzzy concept. Like I kind of understood it, but I wanted to make sure I understood it. And so what I did first is copy that bit of the text and then paste into ChatGPT with the ELI5 explain like I'm 5. And so ChatGPT gave me this, explanation. And then once I read that, I kind of think about it, and then I try to find where I feel like a tangle in the thought, like it's not clear yet. And so I try to talk through it because explaining and teaching a concept to someone else helps you understand it better. So I say to ChatGPT, okay, so I sell the toy to Chase and then get money over time from the sale. So like this is me trying to figure out like, okay, so is this right? Like, am I on the right track? And then ChatGPT tells me like, not quite. It clarifies that point. And then I'm like, okay, so then I keep trying to explain what I'm getting. So it's like chase got the loan for me using my toy. And this is why I like ChatGPT because I think if I was saying this to a person listening to me, they might get confused because um, it's not clear. I'm still trying to work through it. But because ChatGPT can like analyze what I'm saying and kind of see where I'm going wrong, it can immediately tell me like, yes, you got it. You're on the right track. And then I keep going. I just keep going, talking through any part that still feels fuzzy, and smoothing it out so that it's clear and clear. And then ChatGPT just keeps saying like, yeah, either confirming if I'm on the right track and I've got it, or no, and then it'll clarify it for me. And so that's why this is really helpful for me because now I got that concept in my head and it's clear. And then I can move on to the next concept and clarify that one too. And then by the end of the chapter, it's clear in my head and it's just less work to remember. I don't really have to remember, I just understand it, if that makes sense. Definitely be careful of it hallucinating. That is definitely a thing. Um, and I just view it as another an extra way to learn. Whenever I take a test and miss anything, I will screenshot it so I can come back and either work through it myself, or if I can't figure out why I got it wrong, then I'll put it into ChatGPT for help. But sometimes it will make up questions, and so it'll ask me a question that I did not give to it, and then I will tell it like, "Hey, that's not a question I gave you. Where did you get that from?" And sometimes it will push back and say, "No, that's the one you gave to me." And then I will go and look when I uploaded and then come back and tell it like, "No, I checked. That was not a question I asked." And then it will finally say, "Oh, yes, you're right. Here, let me give you the right thing." So definitely check its output because it can definitely hallucinate. And it was really bad. Maybe right before they updated the type. So I haven't seen it hallucinate lately, but still definitely check its output. But yeah, hopefully it's helpful. Like I'm not an expert with ChatGPT. It's just been really useful to make sure I'm understanding and connecting the dots between all these accounting degree concepts.